Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on Redfall. I'm doing a lot of videos on the game at the moment, something I'm quite excited about. It is coming out next year in 2023. If you don't know what the game is, essentially it's a vampire co-op shooter. Some people are calling it the Left 4 Dead vampire game, but it's open world and it's got a whole host of other goodies which we're going to talk about today, including some of the core game mechanics that we've identified so far and just the setting and what you'll be up against. So if this was a mixture of two games, I would say that it is a mixture of Back 4 Blood / Left 4 Dead meets Borderlands, because this isn't like a optional cooperative game. It is you either play as, one guy with a bunch of AI, or at least theorized, or you play with your mates. And also you've got hero shooter elements as well, because each of the characters have their own special abilities. And we've seen some of the examples so far just from game clips. So we've seen telekinesis, we've also seen a cloaking ability. Now there was a leak a little while ago saying that there are going to be 6 playable characters, whether or not we get all of these on release. And also interestingly enough about the characters is you can actually play this game in both first person and third person. Now the screenshot also told a whole host of other exciting things in the world of looter shootery goodness. One is that there is rarity on the weapons. Now, there was a weapon leaked called the UV Beam MO1. It was bright orange. If I am to follow the tradition of loot colouring, I'm presuming that's some sort of legendary weapon. It also showed that there was a minimum level on the weapon as well, which I'm really excited about because I like having unlocks and progression behind a leveling system because it gives you something to look forward to. One of the downfalls of Left 4 Dead is that the loot just wasn't all that exciting, even though you kind of got into a whole rhythmic flow of things. The differentials between the weapons just wasn't really all that exciting. And these weapons aim to have perks on them as well, meaning that there's also going to be loot randomization, which gives it that nice replayability. If you want to find a specific weapon with, the god roll on it, then you've got to keep trying and keep mixing things up. There's also a scrap value on these weapons, which indicates that you can buy other weapons or buy other things with this currency, and again just keeps feeding into that nice progression system that could potentially be there. Now the other thing that kind of feeds into that hero shooter element is not only do they have their own unique abilities, but they also have their own specialized weaponry. The ones I'm speculating at so far is the sniper, who's been in the trailers, and also in the most recent one, which I'll do another video on, there's a flare gun which is used to set the vampires on fire. And if I was a betting man, I'm going to presume that you have like a primary weapon that is related to your class and then the secondary weapons that anyone can pick up, because I'm also going to speculate that there's like a talent system and your talents will kind of revolve around the abilities and weapons that you use, and to make things easier to balance, and they're going to restrict what weapons you can pick up. So what we know about the story so far: Redfall was a little village, there was a science experiment, it went horribly wrong, and as a result of it there are now vampires everywhere. And I touched on this before in another video, but these vampires are also evolving, which I think is going to come into like making them more difficult as you progress through the game, and also the randomability of playing the game. So expect them to, like, you go into one run and they've got more health and they might do more damage with a certain stat or have some sort of weird and wonderful attribute like how most ARPGs work, which would be really cool and actually quite fun if you think about it, having a essentially first-person style Diablo Path of Exile game. I did touch on that there are 6 potential characters coming out. We only know about 4 of them so far. There's Devinder Crowsley, who makes up his own weapons, which kind of smells like a support engineer style class. There is a biomedical engineer student called Layla Ellison. She's the one that uses all the telekinetic powers and kind of has those magey vibes to them. There is Remy Della Rosa, who has a robot that she uses, so I'm presuming that's going to tie into some of her abilities. And then there's Jacob Boyer, which is the character I was talking about earlier, kind of your typical typecasting sniper, long-range, pew-pew hero. And also, interestingly enough, has a raven as a sidekick and a mysterious vampiric ability called Vampiric Eye. So lots of cool fun stuff, and I mean, this is the joy of these type of games. They can just make up any old character and give them any old ability and just be really fun and experimental, and also gives the hope that this game will actually have quite a longevity to it. The other thing which I haven't heard anything about and is a real relief is that this game hasn't mentioned PvP anywhere so far. And if there's one thing I feel that these type of games just do not need is a PvP mode. And specifically, I mean a PvPvE mode, where in traditional fashion players play as the creatures and try and kill off the opposing team. And it's fun for a little while, but I don't know, the bell curve on it just drops off so quickly. Anyway, I'm going to leave the video here. In the next one, I'm going to be going through the trailers and having a look at all the weapons and some of the things that we spotted from the gameplay, and just have a look at all the extra cool things that we've got coming our way. So have a great week, everyone, and I'll be back with more Arcane stuff soon.